Well, had I known, not to be the race out. So get. Really? He's saying no the labor between workers and labor, and that's the Katoka. He said those fellas, they don't like Dominica. It's what they doing there. Without agriculture, we have nothing to offer. We come like a beggar. An old banana farmer, say to find himself tears, he find himself banging a hand of green banana. What the heck is this, man? What I see in there? I can't find a ripe banana in Dominica. Just like Canada and America is only great.
Q, top of the hour news. As it happens, when it happens, wherever it happens. Local, regional, and global. Only on Q95, the big station. Q95DA.com. Right on, Q.
Good evening. This is the Prime Evening News for today, Friday, May 3rd, 2024.
Q, top of the hour.
I am Richie Farrell in the headlines.
When it happens.
Q95 News revealed an ongoing scam which threatens the identity and reputation of those who fall victim to it,
Q90.
like the executive director of the Achievement Learning Center and Circle Friends, Beverly LeBlanc. In sports news, Dominica national football team coach Arlington Sabin was pleased with the performance of his team against St. Vincent's in the first of two international friendlies on Thursday.
As it happens, when it happens, where
St. Mary's College in St. Lucia will receive major upgrades to its sports facilities with $100,000 from Taiwan, $68,500 from SSDF, $15,000 from the FNB, and $15,000 from its alumni association. And it's day 10 of Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York.
Happens wherever it happens. Local, regional.
The case is being dominated by scandal.
95.
And $130 hush money payments by Trump's
right on cue
and porn star Stormy Daniels' former attorney ahead of the 2016 presidential election. These are our headlines. First stop in the news. Q95 News revealed the negative impact of an ongoing scam which threatens the identity and reputation of those who fall victim to it, like the executive director of the Achievement Learning Center and Circle of Friends, Beverly LeBlanc. Speaking to Q95 News today, Miss LeBlanc gave a detailed description on how her life was momentarily disrupted by this ongoing scam, with many Dominicans saying they are now going through the very same scenario.
Normally, I don't take calls very early in the morning, but that particular morning, I was really getting ready to go to work because I had to complete some assignments at Grapewood the particular day. And I saw the call, which was a long distance call. And knowing that I've been working on planning different projects and have regional partners, I picked up the call. And the person talked about, okay, there's a meeting on Every Black Caribbean, which I am part of. At the time, I saw that because I had not attended a few meetings. At the time, I saw that the coordinator had recruited someone just to get a feel from the different members. Okay, where they are we still interested? Are we still going to the group? So I kind of went on with the conversation. But I was doing that, but I was doing so many other things. And by the time I figured, when I asked for a link for a meeting, and then lo and behold, I didn't realize that's what it is. They was really getting access to my WhatsApp. And so by the time I realized, I'm like, oh my God, look what happened to me. So I called my mom at the time and I asked her to alert my family members. But they were very quick because once they got access to, they were contacting people from everyone I had on my account. they were contacting people, and even when they send messages, they were like, okay, nobody can access that message, only the admin. And but so people were calling me. But the good thing about it is those who called were like, Miss, especially my students, they would say, Miss, I realized that wasn't you because of the tone, because you never asked for money. My network, they were like, okay, when the person was speaking, that's not the tone, But at the end of the day, I felt violated because then everybody was calling, and then you don't even know what to tell the people. I don't know where the people were from, and they were just calling people, and they were giving everybody a different story, even using some things that I would say like, okay, I can't talk now, I'm in a meeting with students, and so it was really, really, really an ordeal that affects me mentally and socially.
This revelation should be taken as a warning to all Dominicans to be vigilant in their use of their social media accounts.
What I did was when my students called me, particularly some of my students, I said, okay, this is what I want you to do. I need you to send a broadcast message or put something on your status that if you get any message from that number, this is not Miss Leblanc. When my friends called me, I'd ask them, so it was they were just kind of relaying the message. Some got it, some didn't get it because they were really, 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 they were not wasting any time. And then, so when my students would comment, okay, this is not me, this is what I wanted to do. So for the entire day, I was getting all these calls, but I was asking them to do that. They were like, okay, Miss, I will delete the number, I will block the number. So I asked them to just delete the number, block my number. So then I had to write reports. Luckily, I have good friends who are very good in technology who really assisted me, because I was like, what am I going to do? So people who are good in technology, thank God for good network, who really assisted me to put the report together and was able to get my WhatsApp resolved.
Dominicans are advised to refrain from clicking on links which appear suspicious and should also call the number to confirm the individual asking them for money is truly the person messaging via text. Do not just blindly agree to send monies after receiving a text request from a known or unknown contact. Always call the number to confirm. If your account is hacked, message the WhatsApp company directly using the help option, clearly explaining what happened. Ask them to block this number and also submit a report and inform all contacts if you still have access. Also, do this by email. Update all your social media handles that the old number has been hacked and that you will soon purchase a new number or SIM card from your mobile provider. Leblanc explained what she did after realizing she was a victim of the scam.
And once that was done, I now had to use a whole different name. I could not use Beverly Dipla again. I had to use a whole different name, a whole different profile. So that's what I have been telling people who had me on their contact to take out that old number, take out 6131959. This number no longer exists. Remove that number and then add me on on my new name, which I've already sent to them. So that's basically what I had to do. But I'm still hearing now that they are still doing it because right now, I had to be deleted from all WhatsApp groups. And once I get my new number, then they had to add me back. But then they are still doing it now, and so it's like right now they're on a rampage and the kind of excuses that they use, Unfortunately, I think I only got a call from one of my students who actually fell trapped to it because she was like, Miss, if it was me, you would have helped me. I saw that message and I just went ahead. So I've asked her to use the receipt from MoneyGram. If MoneyGram can track because somebody received the money, so see if they can track it, maybe they can cut the hackers.
That was Executive Director of the Achievement Learning Center and Circle of Friends, Beverly Leblanc. The 101-room 6-star Tranquility Resort is nearing completion in Salisbury, and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit paid a visit to the site on Thursday to check on the facility's progress. The Prime Minister told the media that he is pleased with the vision of the owner of Tranquility Resort, that is, Mr. Ian Edwards, and added that he appreciates the employment provided for some 200 Dominicans in the ongoing construction phase.
Well, we're very pleased with the progress we have seen at Tranquility. Clearly, one can see that tremendous work and effort have been put into this property. The architectural drawings, the aesthetics of that, the quality of the construction, the focus on details, and ensuring that the property is constructed to allow for visitors and guests to really enjoy their stay on this property and Dominica as a whole. It's one of the things that we always try to encourage that local Dominicans to step forward and participate in the development of Dominica, especially utilizing the Citizens Investment Program. And Ian was born in Dominica, obviously migrated some time ago and came back and has taken the lead in investing here in Dominica on the West Coast. I understand that the High Point, you had over 200 people working inside. And of course, one can appreciate that when the hotel is completed, 101 rooms, one can appreciate the direct employment opportunities for dozens of Dominicans, plus the indirect jobs that will create. And I think it's an important addition to the West Coast. And so even when the idea came about of building this hotel, I was in full support of it, especially the location, to enhance the economic opportunities for the people of Salisbury, Colibri Stream, Monrachet as the immediate neighbors of the property, and of course the wider West Coast.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. This is Q95 News. The Commonwealth of Dominica, through the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority, is pleased to welcome attendees to the 13th edition of Jazz and Creole. This year's event promises an unforgettable experience, blending the rich Creole culture with the soulful sounds of jazz. The festival is scheduled for Sunday, May 5th, 2024, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Set against the backdrop of Fort Schutz National Park. This year, festival goers are encouraged to dress in Creole fusion attire. This unique dress code celebrates Creole traditions with a festive twist, inviting attendees to express themselves through bold patterns, lively prints, and vibrant accessories that reflect the spirited essence of the event. Communications and Public Relations Specialist at Discover Dominica Authority, Monel Alexis, expounded on this year's lineup and ticket options.
Jazz and Creole boasts a diverse lineup, including Michael Henderson, Lily Octave, Swinging Stars, and Colton T from Dominica, Mappy from the USA, Elaine from Jamaica, and Octato from Venezuela. Tickets: VIP $325, at the gate $200, advanced purchase $175, youth ticket ages 12 to 17 $75. Identification is required and tickets are sold at Cabrit. Children under 12, free admission. Identification is required. Fringe events, advance tickets, $160. Sales outlets include Bullseye Pharmacy, Deepex Color Lab, Waters Edge, HH, V Whitchurch, Whitchurch Travel, and online at www.dominicafestivals.com. The fringe events where tickets will be sold over the weekend are Jazz and Cocktail, alias Frances Roseau, and Jazz and Tea, Convent Prep Roseau on May 3rd. Family Fun Day, Pupatolo Beach, Portsmouth. Jazz and Arts in Paradise, Paradise Valley, Bourne. Caribbean Hype, HHVW Church Parking Lot, Picard on May 4th.
Ms. Alexis outlined the various locations for shuttle service to and from the Jazz and Creole Cabrit's National Park venue in Portsmouth.
To ensure a hassle-free experience, shuttle services will be available as follows. A $3 shuttle service from Glanvilla Plainfield, Borough Square, Portsmouth Market, and Tatton Stretch to the Moroccan Hotel. From the Moroccan Hotel to the DASPA building, shuttle service will be provided at $2. Complimentary shuttle service from DASPA building directly to Fort Shirley, ensuring everyone can join in the festivities with ease. Pets, smoking, and glass bottles are prohibited in the national park. Come to Jazz and Creole on Sunday, May 5th, 2024.
Communications and Public Relations Specialist at Discover Dominica Authority, Monel Alexis. Tourism Awareness Month is now in effect in Dominica and is being celebrated this year under the theme Tourism is Everybody's Business, Own Our Own. This annual event is organized by the Discover Dominica Authority in partnership with the Ministry of Tourism and the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association and highlights tourism's crucial role in the island's economy while recognizing the contributions of stakeholders. Destination Marketing Manager, Ms. Andia Ravarea, emphasized that as Tourism Awareness Month 2024 commences, it is crucial to acknowledge that nurturing Dominica's tourism industry is a collective effort, adding that this year's theme encourages every Dominican to actively champion the island's beauty, culture, and heritage. Throughout the month of May, a series of engaging activities and events will highlight the varied contributions of local stakeholders to Dominica's tourism sector.
As we usher in Tourism Awareness Month 2024, we are reminded that the stewardship of Dominica's tourism industry is a shared responsibility that rests on the shoulders of every Dominican. This year's theme, Tourism is Everybody's Business, Own Our Own, is not just a call to action, it's an invitation for each of us to actively engage in nurturing and showcasing our island's natural beauty, culture, and heritage. I encourage everyone to participate in this month's activity as we own our own.
Destination Marketing Manager at Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Andia Ravarea. Leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Bernard Ito, expressed dismay at the tendency to lump all issues in Dominica together. He highlighted the ongoing public discourse surrounding the April 22nd ruling by the High Court regarding Sections 14 and 16 of the Sexual Offences Act. Ito argues that this judgment does not signify endorsement of any lifestyle. He added that instead, it raises the fundamental question of whether the state has the authority to imprison citizens based on their sexual preferences when consenting adults engage in private activities at home.
It is unfortunate sometimes that the issues in Dominica get put into one big pile, right? We put everything into one big pile and then we talk about it, and I think that's unfortunate. Because, you know, if you listen to a lot of the discussion that's going on and a lot of the vitriol that's been heaped even upon the attorney, Kara, who represented the individual, I think that's unfortunate because I think that is based on a misreading of the law, of the situation. This judgment doesn't in any way signify or sign off or approve of anyone's lifestyle or anyone's particular behavior. It is not something that says you are approved and we approve your lifestyle and we are now celebrating your lifestyle in Dominica or anywhere else. The issue needs to be framed very correct. It's simply about whether or not the state has the right to incarcerate a citizen based on their sexual preferences between consenting adults in the privacy of their own home. That's the only issue. Should the state have the right to incarcerate a citizen based on what is perceived as an immoral act? If that is the case, then the state, one could argue, should have the right then to incarcerate people of heterosexual sex outside of marriage, because clearly, according to the Bible and so forth, that's an immoral act as well. And so where does one draw the line? Where does one decide that this immoral act should send you to jail, but that immoral act does not?
Ito also remarked that it would appear unjust and unethical for the state to imprison two consenting individuals of opposite sexes, a scenario that would likely cause public outcry. He questioned why a similar reaction couldn't be extended to individuals of the same sex.
You can clearly see that it is wrong and would be an almost an absurdity that the government, the state, should have the right to incarcerate two consenting man and a woman consensual sex in their bedroom in the privacy of their own home, we would think it absurd that the government has the right to go in there and arrest those people and send them to 10 years jail. The entire society would be in uproar about that. So the only question is, why should that same principle not apply to people of the same sex who are engaged in sexual behavior in the privacy of their own home, which society, Dominican society, considers immoral, but premarital sex is also considered immoral. And so there's a double standard in terms of which sins one should be incarcerated for, sent up to stock farm for 10 years, versus what sins are you don't get imprisoned for. So that's very, very difficult thing for a state and a government to try to legislate. And any wise government would clearly stay out of that arena of legislating morality and especially incarcerating people based on moral standards. That's a very, very almost ridiculous stance for a government to stay on.
You've just heard statements from leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Bernard Ito. In more news, Minister of Tourism Denise Charles Pemberton has announced the departure of Colin Piper, CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, from his position today, Friday, May 3rd, 2024. Mr. Piper has served in this capacity for 15 years. Mrs. Charles Pemberton acknowledged Piper's leadership during various challenges, including natural disasters and the global COVID-19 pandemic.
We would like to acknowledge and bid farewell to Mr. Colin Piper, the Chief Executive Officer at the Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, who demits office at the end of this week. Mr. Piper has served with distinction as CEO of Discover Dominica Authority for the past 15 years. Under his leadership, Dominica has navigated through numerous challenges, including the profound impacts of natural disasters and the global COVID-19 pandemic, which severely affected the tourism industry at the time. His dedication and leadership contributed significantly to recovery and quick rebound, as well as played a part in the overall resilience and growth of our tourism sector. I am grateful for Mr. Piper's commitment and stewardship while promoting our country over the years. During his tenure, he has helped raise the profile of our destination globally and has worked diligently to promote Dominica's many offerings at regional and international expos as well as tourism showcases. He was also instrumental in the development, staging and coordination of major festivals, namely the World Creole Music Festival, Carnival, and Jazz and Creole.
Charles also emphasized that the Discover Dominica Authority is dedicated to advancing the efforts initiated by Mr. Piper throughout the years. She pledged their ongoing commitment to improving tourism offerings and ensuring Dominica remains a top choice premier destination.
As he steps down and moves on to the next stage of his career, I extend my heartfelt appreciation for his years of dedicated service to the Discover Dominica Authority and Dominica. On behalf of the Government of Dominica, the Ministry of Tourism, the Board of Discover Dominica Authority, and all of his colleagues, I wish Mr. Piper the very best in his future undertakings, and we are confident that he will continue to be a formidable representative of Dominica in whichever path he chooses in the future. As we move forward, the Discover Dominica Authority remains committed to building on the work accomplished by Mr. Piper over the years. We will continue to enhance our tourism offerings and ensure that Dominica remains a premier destination for visitors. Thank you, Mr. Piper, for your passion, your leadership, and your contributions to Dominica's tourism development.
Tourism Minister Mrs. Denise Charles Pemberton. You're tuned in with Q95 News. Coach of the Dominica national football team, which won last night's match against St. Vincent 3-1. Mr. Allington Sabin expressed his excitement regarding the team and their ability to work together, a factor he says solidified Dominica's victory.
Well, the guys performed well. The guys played out after the opponent scored the goal. They didn't drop their shoulders. They came back and they put the fight to the opponent and got a convincing victory in the end. But we just continue playing, keep bringing the fight to the team. We were not playing that bad. There was one error that caused the goal, and we have to continue what we're doing. And we have eventually got to the score and we got it.
Odell Laville, with the help of his teammates, brought Dominica to victory in this game against St. Vincent, and Coach Sabin said Laville played well.
His performance was good, like I told him earlier today. He has a struggle enough of to win the game. The entire team put in a good shape. We had some players who are standing defensively, like Guy Maxim. In the midfield as well, we had players who stood out, Gabriel Thomas, Chad Bushman, Kian Thomas. Even the Di Mario Challenger coming on and putting a nice hit for the team.
Player Jaheim Maxim, who held the fullback position, made his debut last night, and by all reports, he held his own on the field. Coach Ellington Sabin says Maxim and Chad Bertrand gave a solid showing.
Yeah, well, like we challenged him some confidence in Guy Million today. Just ask him to play to his strength and he'll do fine. But Chad is an experienced player, so we know Chad will do well. Once he got fit, he'll do well, and that's what we did with him to get Chad fit, and as we got him fit, the quality will eventually come up. He was a wonderful team performance, Gavin, and we tested the system and the style of play versus a foreign opponent, and we could see that it's more results. We've got to continue to do the same.
In more news, the St. Mary's College will receive an upgrade to existing sports facilities, external funding in the amounts of $100,000 from the government of the People's Republic of China, Taiwan, $68,500 from the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, that's the SSDF, $15,000 from First National Bank, and $15,000 from the Alumni Association of the St. Mary's College have been earmarked for a court rehabilitation project in 2024. Now, acting principal of the St. Mary's College, Neil Fortinell, said, open quote, the plan is to resurface the court, relay the fence, relay the tennis net, bring in state-of-the-art basketball rims, and we're also hoping to erect some bleachers, end of quote. The deterioration of the court surface prompted urgent action to maintain the safety of students. Member of Parliament for Castries North, Honorable Stephenson King, was instrumental in sourcing funding for the rehabilitation project. He disclosed an additional project which will also benefit that institution. Celebrity scandals and hush money payments dominated the 10th day of Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York City. The BBC's Nada Tawfik looks at what happened between Michael Cohen and porn star Stormy Daniels' former attorney Keith Davidson, the two people who made the $130,000 hush money payment happen ahead of the 2016 presidential election.
Court got a closer look at the Stormy Daniels hush money deal and the two lawyers who negotiated it, but neither man came off well as their shady dealings were laid out in order to get to the truth. Things got heated when Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Keith Davidson, was under cross-examination. Trump's lawyer suggested the hush money payment was borderline extortion. He asked Davidson about his past attempts to trade cash for celebrity dirt, including from actor Charlie Sheen and wrestler Hulk Hogan. Davidson insisted everything he did was lawful. The defense also had him confirm that he never spoke to Donald Trump. And then there's Michael Cohen. Prosecutors aired out unflattering evidence that made their star witness look bad, mainly to get ahead of it. Davidson shared conversations with Trump's lawyer at the time, including Cohen's threat to rain legal hell down on Stormy Daniels if she didn't deny the sexual encounter. When Cohen didn't get a position in the Trump administration, Davidson said he cursed out Trump. He said he saved his boss so many times and was having trouble getting paid back. The defense want the jury to believe that Cohen acted independently in hopes of landing a job in the White House. Overall, the defense strategy is to discredit witnesses and to distance them from Donald Trump. But will it work?
That's the Prime Evening News. Here's a recap of our headlines. Q95 News revealed an ongoing scam which threatens the identity and reputation of those who fall victim to it.
When it happens.
The executive director of the ALC and circle of friend, Beverly LeBlanc.
Q95.
In sports news, the Dominica national football team coach Ellington Sabin
Right on, Q.
was pleased with the performance of his team against St. Vincent in the first of two international friendlies on Thursday. St. Mary's College in St. Lucia will receive major upgrades to its sports facility. $100,000 from Taiwan,
The Hour News.
$68,500 from the SSDF, $15,000 from the FNB, $15,000 from its Alumni Association.
Station Q90.
And it's day 10 of Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York. It is being dominated by scandals and $130,000 hush money payment by Trump's and porn star Stormy Daniels' former attorneys ahead of the 2016 presidential election.
Q Top of the Hour News.
That's the news brought to you with the very kind compliments
It happened.
of Q95 FM.
Regional.
I've been your presenter, Richie Farrell.
Q95.
Stay tuned.
A big station.
Notices and announcements come up after this.
Right on Q.
Do not be afraid of what the future brings. This is only the start of the trans revolution.
Thank you for staying with us. Domlec wishes to inform its customers in Loda, Trafalgar Falls, Access Road, including Papilot and Trafalgar Falls Resort, of an emergency outage scheduled for Saturday, May 4th, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is necessary to allow Domlec to undertake urgent maintenance works at the Loda Power Station. Domlec regrets any inconveniences caused as a result and appreciates your understanding. Doasco informs residents of Roseau and the public that excavation works to facilitate a sewer connection will be undertaken near the intersection of Independence Street and Great Marlborough on Sunday, May 5th, 2024, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. All vehicles traversing south on Independence Street will be diverted onto Marlborough Street during that period. Motorists and pedestrians are asked to exercise caution. Doasco regrets any inconveniences which may be caused. Thanks to the public for their understanding. Stay tuned, we have two deaf announcements. The death of 65-year-old Gibbons Benjamin, otherwise known as Benji of Benz, who resided at Goodwill. He passed away on Monday, April 29th, 2024, at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. He is survived by his wife, Jane Flora Benjamin, his children, Richard, Annalisa, Neil, Kenny, and Gibson, his grandchildren, Tamika, Trifian, Neil, Mikey, Toa, Caden, Kenil, Annalise, and Kelly. Brothers Ivan, Carl, Steve, Jimmy, and Richard. He is remembered by his sisters, Bermin, Sharita, Judy, Sharon, Jasmine, and Jasminda. 8 nephews and 10 nieces. His aunts, Daisy, Hilma, and Vanya. His cousins, Lefford, Francisca, Darren, Carissa, Austin, Tony, Renix, Addison, Jefferson, Emma, Nanda, and other members of the Matthew family in Benz, Vincent and other members of the Dupy family in Benz, Kent Johnson and family, the Benjamin family in Wesley, and Eleanora and other members of the Joseph family in Benz. Mother-in-law Elizabeth Esprit Flora, daughters-in-law Adela Bell Benjamin and Carrie Benjamin, brothers-in-law Hainson, Osmond, Matthew, and Fernando, sisters-in-law June, Catherine, Rose, Evelyn, Athenia, Hilda, and Shirley. Many other family and close friends, including past and present officers of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, others whose names are too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Gibbons Benjamin will be held on Friday, May 10th, 2024, with viewing at 1:30 p.m., followed by the service at 2 p.m. The Ansdime Catholic Church burial will be at the Ansdime Cemetery. 95 News extends sincere condolences to the family of the late Gibbons Benjamin. It is with profound sadness we announce the death of Mr. Paul Moffett Phillip, also known as Big Moth, age 60 years, of Wesley. He died on Friday, 12 April 2024 at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. Left to mourn is his wife, Lynn Phillip, his children, Adana Lang, Latoya Foster, Chanel, Shanim, and Rudolph Phillip. Grandchildren, Michelle, Janima, Mikel, Amara, Isaiah. Siblings, Billin, Debbie, Jolina, Sandra, Ingrid, Angela, Naomi, Jareth, Bill, Harrison, Bradley, Clyde, Pemberton, Cadman, and Joey. His aunts, Robina St. John, Vera, Sylviane, Flora, and Monica. Sisters-in-law, Rose, Celia, Prudence, Eutha, and Jas. Brothers-in-law, Cornelius, Jim, and Orbit. Sons-in-law, Foster and Len. Nieces including Bianca, Wendy, Jerlyn, Tia, Riel, Karina, Janila, Keto, Ernell, and Pinky. Nephews including Cornell, Cardinal, Jamal, Kendall, Ronald, J.R., Kayan, Kadian, Marvin, and Jail. Cousins including Reverend and Mrs. Carlotta Dodds, Jenkins, Jan, Misty and family, Picky, Merlin, Rose Fern, Emil, Amelia, Reed or Renee, Brond, Wimpy, Shania, Bernalyn, Kelbert, Laverne, Sheena, and Fortune. Close friends, Dr. Frederick, Mrs. Cecilia Kelsick, Veron, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Basil and family, Ida, Mr. Ezekiel Basil, Elwood, Eleonora, Mr. and Mrs. Julian Jeremy, Mr. and Mrs. Yvonne Grant and family, Happy Carissa, Beben, Franklin, Zaki, Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Edwards, Rachel, Rick, Joseph, Rosie, Ambo, Aisha, Indy, the Robin sisters, and others whose names are too numerous to mention. Philip, Archer, and Dodd's families, the Ebenezer Church family, the community of Wesley, the body of the late Mr. Paul Moffett Phillip, also known as Big Moth, will be transported from Lyndhurst Funeral Home for viewing at 2 p.m. on Saturday, May 4th, 2024, at the Wesley Ebenezer Methodist Church. The funeral service begins at 3 p.m. and is followed by interment at the Wesley Methodist Cemetery. Q95 News extends sincere condolences to the family of the late Mr. Paul Moffett Phillip, also known as Big Moth. That that concludes the notices and announcements for this evening. I've been your presenter, Richie Farrell, with the Q95 News team, wishing you a pleasant evening.
Presenting the winning numbers for Dominica National Lottery's midday draw of Friday, 3rd May 2024. The daily 3 midday draw winning numbers are 1, 8, and 7. The multi-X ball selected was 2X, and there were 26 winners. The big 4 with multi-X midday draw winning numbers are 5,